Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to another episode of the Focus English podcast. I'm Isabella, your host and guide on this journey to mastering the English language through real, meaningful conversations.
And I'm Henry. I'm so happy to be back here. Every time we sit down to record for Focus English, I feel like I'm not just learning words, but I'm learning how to actually live in English.
That is exactly the goal, Henry. Today's episode is special. We're diving into a topic that fills the air every February, Valentine's Day. But don't worry, this isn't a Hallmark movie. We are here to break down the language of love, relationships, and even the awkward moments that come with it.
I'm ready. But before we get into the English of it all, Isabella, I have to ask, how has your week been? Have you been caught up in the Valentine's rush?
It's been busy, but lovely. The city is turning red and pink, the chocolate shops are crowded, and there's a certain vibe in the air. It's hard to ignore. What about you, Henry? Are you a fan of Valentine's Day, or do you find it a bit much?
To be honest, I used to think it was just for marketing, but lately I've started to appreciate the warmth of it. It's a nice excuse to be kind to people, but sometimes as a learner, it's hard to know what to say without sounding like a textbook.
That is a brilliant point. English learners often get stuck using Happy Valentine's Day over and over again. Today, we're going to give our listeners at Focus English the tools to express themselves naturally, whether they're deeply in love, happily single, or somewhere in between.
So, Isabella, let's start with the basics for our listeners. How would you define Valentine's Day in a way that sounds natural? If someone asks me, what's the big deal about February 14th? What do I say?
Great question. In a textbook, it might say, a day for lovers to exchange gifts. But in real-life English, we describe it more fluidly. You could say, it's a day dedicated to celebrating affection and connection. Or even simpler, it's a chance to show appreciation for the special people in your life.
Oh, I like that. Special people. That means it's not just for boyfriends and girlfriends.
Exactly. That's a common misconception. While it is traditionally romantic, modern English speakers use it to celebrate friendships, often called Galentine's Day for women, or family. The language we use reflects that. Instead of just, I love you, we might say, I'm so grateful to have you in my life.
That feels much more inclusive. So if I'm talking to a friend, I don't have to feel awkward.
Not at all. And awkward is a great word here, Henry. Many learners feel awkward because they think they must be romantic. You don't. You can just enjoy the festivity of the day.
Let's get into the scary part. Sometimes people ask, so do you have a Valentine? Or are you seeing anyone? How do we answer these personal questions politely?
This is where learners often freeze. Let's break it down into scenarios. Scenario A. You are single and happy. Instead of a short no, try, I'm actually flying solo this year and I'm quite enjoying it. Or, I'm focused on myself right now, so no Valentine for me.
Flying solo. That sounds very cool. It sounds much more confident than just saying, I am alone.
Exactly. Alone sounds sad. Single or flying solo sounds like a lifestyle choice. Now, scenario B, you are in a relationship. You can say, yes, I'm seeing someone, or I'm in a committed relationship. If you want to be casual, you can say, yeah, I've got a date planned with my partner.
What if it's a new relationship? Like we just started talking.
Ah, the complicated stage. You could say, it's early days, but I am spending the day with someone special. This tells the other person you're busy without giving away too much detail.
It's early days. I'll remember that one. It's very British, isn't it?
It is, and it's very useful for avoiding TMI, too much information. On Focus English, we always emphasize that less is often more in social English.
Okay, Isabella, let's talk about plans. If I ask you, what are you doing for Valentine's? And my answer is just staying home and watching Netflix. How do I make that sound, well, better?
There is absolutely nothing wrong with a low-key Valentine.
Low key? What does that mean?
Low-key means simple, relaxed, and not fancy. So instead of saying, I'm doing nothing, you can say, I'm planning a low-key night at home. I'm just going to take it easy and relax. I'm avoiding the crowds and having a quiet evening.
That sounds much more intentional. It sounds like I chose to stay home because I'm smart, not because I have no friends.
Precisely. Now, let's look at the other side. What if someone is going all out?
All out? Meaning doing everything possible?
Yes. If someone has a big reservation at a five-star restaurant, they might say, we're going all out this year with a fancy dinner, or we've got a romantic getaway planned.
I think I prefer the low-key version. Going to a crowded restaurant on Valentine's Day sounds a bit stressful.
I agree. The pressure to perform can be high. In English, we call this the Valentine's hype. Sometimes the best way to enjoy the day is to ignore the hype and just be yourself.
Let's talk about gifts. In the original script, they mentioned chocolate and flowers. But can we expand on that? How do we talk about the meaning of a gift?
This is a great opportunity for adjective practice. A gift doesn't have to be expensive. In fact, many people prefer thoughtful gifts.
Thoughtful, like something that shows you really know the person.
Exactly. Here are some ways to describe gifts. A sentimental gift, something that holds a special memory. A handmade gift, something you made yourself. Or a small token of appreciation, a small gift that says, I care.
So I could say, I didn't buy anything big, just a small token for my friend.
Perfect. And remember the phrase, it's the thought that counts. This is a very common English idiom. It means the intention behind the gift is more important than the price tag.
It's the thought that counts. That's a lifesaver for someone on a budget.
You know, Henry, Valentine's Day feels different depending on where you are in the world. In the US, it's huge. In some parts of Europe, it's more subtle. Since our listeners at Focus English are from all over the globe, I'm curious, how is it viewed in your culture?
It's growing, but I think there's a lot of social media pressure. People feel they have to post photos of big bouquets of roses to show they are happy.
That's a very modern struggle. We call that performative romance. It's not about the feeling, it's about the show.
Performative? That's a strong word.
It is, and it often leads to expectation versus reality. This is a great phrase for our listeners. Sometimes we expect a movie-style romance, but the reality is a burnt pizza and a funny movie. And you know what? Often the reality is better.
I agree. My favorite memories aren't the fancy ones. They're the ones where something went wrong and we laughed about it.
Smiling. Since we're being honest, do you have an awkward Valentine story, Henry? Use it as a way to practice your storytelling English.
Oh boy, okay. A few years ago, I tried to cook a romantic dinner.
I found a recipe for a spicy pasta. I thought spicy is passionate, right?
Oh no, I see where this is going.
I put way too many chili flakes. It wasn't passionate, it was painful. We spent the whole night drinking milk and crying because our mouths were on fire.
That is hilarious. See, that's a memorable night. In English, we'd say, it didn't go as planned, but it made for a great story.
Exactly. Now we look back and laugh. If everything was perfect, we would have forgotten it by now.
That's the spirit. For our learners, don't worry about being perfect in English or in life. The awkward silences or the wrong words often become the best lessons.
Isabella, you mentioned earlier that there are things we shouldn't say. Can we do a red flag list for Valentine's Day?
Absolutely. Language is about tone and timing. Don't ask, why are you still single? This sounds judgmental, even if you're curious. Don't say, you look tired today. Even if it's true, on Valentine's, people want to feel special. Say, you have a lovely glow today, instead. Avoid, how much did that cost? Discussing the price of a gift ruins the magic.
What about if I'm single and talking to another single friend? Can I say, Valentine's Day is stupid?
You can, but it sounds a bit bitter. If you want to sound more sophisticated, say, I'm not really into the commercial side of the holiday. It sounds like a philosophical opinion rather than a complaint. Before we wrap up this session of the Focus English podcast, let's do a quick power vocabulary recap for our listeners. Henry, I'll give you the word, and you give me a sentence. Word 1, smitten.
He is absolutely smitten with his new girlfriend. He can't stop talking about her.
Excellent. Word 2, high maintenance.
I don't want a high-maintenance Valentine's Day. I just want something simple and easy.
Spot on. Word 3, to sweep someone off their feet.
You don't need a carriage and horses to sweep someone off their feet. Sometimes a heartfelt letter is enough.
I love that. You're becoming quite the poet, Henry.
Isabella, this has been such a helpful conversation. I feel much more prepared to talk about this topic without feeling like a robot.
I'm so glad, Henry. And to all our listeners at Focus English Podcast, remember this. Valentine's Day is just 24 hours. Whether you're celebrating with a partner, hanging out with friends, or having a self-care day alone, the most important relationship you have is the one with yourself.
That's a beautiful thought. Use this day as an excuse to practice your English. Write a comment, send a message to a friend, or even talk to yourself in the mirror.
Yes, tell yourself, I am doing a great job learning English, because you are.
If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Focus English Podcast. We are here to help you find your voice in the English-speaking world.
Leave us a comment below. Tell us, what is your reality versus expectation story? Or what is one low-key plan you have for this week? We love reading your stories.
Thank you for joining us. Keep practicing, keep focusing, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Goodbye, everyone. Happy learning.
Bye-bye.